right about now. Right about. Season's greetings and salutations, man. If it ain't messy, it ain't me. You already know, man. It's the one and only Gemma Worthy. Long time no here, man. Go ahead and get brunch all the way out the way. Go ahead and get brunch all the way out the way. It's about to go dizzy down, man. Hey, man, shout out to XLBC, Maurice Wallace and the family, man. They hosting a Oktoberfest XLBC show exclusive to the XL American Bully breed, and it's looking fabulous. Coming up in a few weeks. It's a good day to be above the ground. Wouldn't you say? A lot going on in the world. Yeah. So, So yeah, man, a lot's going on. With the with controversy first and foremost over in Ukraine about the American the XL bully. That's on the tip of my tongue. Now since then, certain things have been, quote unquote clarified. But, at the same time, it's a topic that had to be discussed. If it ain't messing at me, if you don't know, it's about mental health, and I like to tie in my hot topics with mental health because the dog game brought me therapy, and it's all about therapy first. If you don't got therapy first, man, it's hard to make it through this world, basically. So, different people do different things to get through their mental health sweep. But me in particular, I like to function with the dogs, the big dogs. Yeah, so, with that being said, a little girl got attacked by a big dog. I know, a little girl got attacked by a big dog. It was horrible. That dog got on her, and her people went to rescue her. They went to come to her aid, and it didn't go too well for them neither. It did. And it's not a laughing matter, because if you ever been bit by a dog, trust and believe, it hurts. You know what I mean? It hurts. It hurts all the way. You know what I'm saying? So the controversy came over. The controversy came because the attack was associated with what we know in our world as the American bully, which is a dog bred and built for companionship, as far as the textbook situation. That's what the American bully was bred as a breed, as a whole, and with its foundation of American Pit Bull Terrier, Staffordshire Terrier, as far as the textbook, black and white. But overseas, there seems to be some kind of there was interpretations that the XL bully, if you don't know, the actual bully class of dogs, is American Bulldog, your massive, I think St. Bernards, potentially, Um, you can Google that shit, but basically it's a group of class of the bigger or taller dogs. Um, as a whole, but not in particular the American bully breed itself. So a lot of my community was up in an uproar, had their panties up in a bunch, um, because um, because they thought that the owner of the American Bully Kennel Club, Mr. Dave Wilson, shout out to Dave and the family, um, as did I, felt like the clip of the news that we saw, an explanation of the American Bully, or the XL Bully, was being referenced to the American Bully XL American Bully class. So the American Bully. So there's two separate. There's a breed class, and then the news over there as far as the attack and the association. They are making comparison to that as a whole, um, as a breed. So those outside looking in could say, hey, um, the American Bully, as we know it, I won't say stateside, I'll say worldwide, because as far as the registry of ABKC, it's a worldwide registry. Most of them are, but they're pretty much the foundation of the organization of the American Bully breed as we know it. They formally organized it and made a run at it first, if I'm not mistaken. So there was a lot of confusion on this particular situation, as far as when Dave had spoke out, as far as the news clip that got shot around the world, referencing that, the XL Bully as a whole is not what our breed is. It's, it was saying, what's up, Big Trey? Appreciate you, baby. It was basically just saying that, this is not what we produce. This is not what we stand behind. But I'm messy, so pretty much in short, the clutter and confusion became because the breed itself, especially with our breed, once you go ahead and get to a certain height, once you go ahead and get to a certain height, you get to wonder how did the dog come about. So if the foundation of the standard American Bully breed is a American Pit Bull Terrier and Staffordshire Terrier, which is the origins of the dog, and please God, please anybody correct me if I'm wrong, dogs only gonna get so tall, 16ish, to 18, 19, something like that on average. 18, 19 inches for that type of dog was pretty high, pretty tall back then, because again, so at the end of the day, I just got news that my kids just completed their first Rubik's Cube, man. Shout out to my kids, shout out to the family for always trying to push the envelope and go farther, man. But basically, the thing with the XL class within the American Bully breed, is always up for discussion and debate, because everybody wonders, where the extra, 3 to 8 inches come from. I have a simple scientific theory. If you're born in a world of 5-foot people and everybody's 5 foot, it's scientifically proven that every once in a blue moon, you'll go ahead and have, an anomaly. Out of all the 5-foot people in the world, every once in a blue moon, you'll get something that's 6-7 foot tall. Every once in a blue moon. And blue moons only come around every once in a blue moon. You dig? So with that being said is, if you start seeing a constant of 6, 7, 8-foot people and in a close proximity, only two things could happen. That means the once in a blue moon people that got together and they made it, which will start your trajectory for more taller people, or there's been somebody in the background. If they coming out more often than none, there's something probably been injected in the sauce a little bit. I'm not ashamed to say that out loud. A lot of people, will have their own discrepancies, and I'll just say, if I am lying, then it shouldn't the XL class, breed class shouldn't 20 inches or more. Like, those are anomalies. I had Eli Kobe blood when I had American Pit Bull Terrier, and that was the taller line of American Pit Bull Terrier blood, for all intents and purposes. So just from that basis right there, we know that it shouldn't be a concept. But anyway, it's been going on so long that it's been accepted, adopted, and people have spent their monies, invested. Once things were sanctioned and authorized, to be registered and shown. As anything, we fight, we scream, oh, it shouldn't be like this, it shouldn't be like that. But then, once it's accepted by the right people, we forget and we move on. Most people forget. Then you got the small group that's always out there with their banner saying, XL Bully, is the most jacked up breed class in the American Bully class, because there's no level of consistency. Well, outside looking in, some people, I've shown in 6 different registries at this point. But the constant is, at this point, or at this era of life, that the American Bully is a designer dog. It has no consistency in its look overall, no matter what the class is, which is pocket, classic, standard, and excel. So, there's a lot of uproar on what is an American Bully, where's the true consistent look. Again, all these different type of muzzles, long, short, wide, tall dogs, lanky dogs, came in from people adding on and experimenting and such and so forth. And again, to each their own. But at the same time, if there was a standard of acceptance where, because UKC, you guys send pictures in, what I'm saying? Now, granted, we know they done let some shit slip through the crack now, truth be told. But ideally, if you stick to your guns and people submit pictures of a dog before you go ahead and bring them, adopt them into your registry, that would kind of what's up, Chris? That would kind of bring it to home, as far as what's going on. So at the end of the day, you can't really tell what's in a bully to a certain degree, as far as I'm concerned. You can health test and genealogy test. It's going to tell you, man. I've seen so many people. I mean, you can test a dog all goddamn day long, but at the end of the fucking day, it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, there's all kind of different traits. Overall, you want a dog with temperament, mild drive, or taper drive, as they say. You know what I mean? So basically, to the main point, some people think that the dog is built, for companionship, means overall lazy dog. And then some people try to defy those odds and say, the American Bully is still a working class dog. Or I myself, when I first got into the American Bully game, just from lack of knowledge, did enter in trying to show my dog, well, not show my dog, but I took my dog to protective training classes. And it's better to start the dogs on a lot earlier in age. But just my particular dog at the point, which he was right under 1. But rest in peace, Boss Hog. He just, he didn't have that overall drive that they look for these dogs to be protection dogs, or responding in an aggressive way on command. Now, granted, we've seen by name the American Bully defy those odds, but again, though that particular dog or those particular lines have different foundational dogs in them, as far as what made that particular dog right there go ahead and react to the point to where it showed more drive than the average American Bully. So I jumped around back and forth. In short, to say, the girl got attacked by a dog. They're trying to blame it on They said the XL Bully, which is not a breed. XL Bully is not a breed. You know what I'm saying? Bully dogs by in that text, bully dogs again is a class of dogs. Again, the bigger dogs itself, massives, dogos, um, American bulldog, etc. Dogs with some legs on it. Overseas, they breed them. And I won't say in third world countries. Different people pay for their dogs to have protection dogs, but in the inner urban areas, people definitely try to have more aggressive dogs to as a form of security for their home. So the world's in the uproar. I said all that again to say the world's in the uproar about because they're confused at this point about the American bully or the XL American bully or the XL bully by description on the news. So while they're trying to figure it out, shout out to the Caller family who founded the XLBC, which is dedicated to the XL bully class under the American bully standard that we knew as far as the predecessor of ABKC, but now it's recognized in XLBC as its own breed and broke it down into 4 distinct breed classes: Standard XL, Classic XL, Extreme XL, and Double XL. The Callers took a jump off the porch and they jumped into this situation. Kudos to them, because at the end of the day, there was always conversation, nonstop conversation about how inconsistent the XL class was in the American bully breed dealing with ABKC. And we know in forming XL that they're going to be apt and open to different things, more of a higher backs and different stiffer stifles, which is their rear legs. You want some kind of angulation on a dog, which you normally get on a smaller dog. But when you're dealing with the XL, you got a lot of different variables that's hard to kind of work the kinks out. Now, ideally, again, you say, well, why are you still working out the kinks in this breed? Has been around for almost 20 years now. Well, that's because that goes in support with people saying it's a designer breed. People are still adding different things. People are still trying to take away different things. People feel like, hey, that's cool, but I can make it better. And so there's been a lot of people just, they call them backyard breeders to a point. Everyone is basically. And you put your best productions together and you bring them out to a show. If you have legitimate papers on the dog, that's another conversation. You bring it to a sanctioned show where the dog is registered and you show the dog. So, but XLBC is catering to the overall XL American bully, but even in its varieties, which is the standard, classic, extreme, and double XL. Therapy first. I got into this dog personally at this dog world, the American bully breed world, by happenstance. As a pet, as a pet situation for my kids. I told you guys before we had twins. My daughter, she's more turned up than my son. She's a little more energetic, and she used to do ungodly things to my face and arms. So I'm like, you need something that you could pinch, poke, prod, bite, whatever it is, So me dealing with pit bulls back in the past, I went ahead and started looking for some pits. Through some friends and colleagues of mine, my man pointed me to his man, and he said he had some dogs, some big dogs. I said, let me go check them out. I liked the dogs, and it's just through conversation. At that point, I got to learn that the dog was an American bully. Bigger bone, thicker head. You could definitely see the drive. As far as my first specimen, the drive was definitely more tapered and everything. Shout out to Boss Hog. And it was a dope dog. So that's how I got into the breed, which is most people, and that's really under a pet situation. You really don't get to picking and really diving into the dog until you decide you want to kick it up a notch past having it as a pet and get into the world of showing your dog. That's where all the extra conversation comes from. When you find out what you really got, you thought you had a fucking race car, you know what I'm saying? Or, you take it out to the actual track, and then you come to find out that, you got a 200 horsepower, you out there running, with 454s, you know what I mean? It's not going to work. You know what I mean? So then you have to go back, do some research, find out where you messed up, find out if what you had was fake, fraud, and you get your situation together. You can do two things, and once you find out you ain't got what you got, you can either go ahead and totally remove that situation out of your possession. Like, go ahead and move that dog out the yard. Go ahead and sell that dog or pet home somewhere else, and go buy one from buy a new dog, a new American Bully from someone with a little more reputation and tenure in their breeding experience. Or you could take that same dog, lackluster dog, which is what most people do, and they go ahead and start bringing in another dog and trying to recreate the dog in its entirety. So that's in fact why, for the most part, the American Bully breed is still a designer breed. There's definitely a certain consistent look overall. Well, in my opinion, definitely when it comes to standards and pockets. Class is cool, but that was just whatever. But when it comes to that XL, that really throws the biggest wrench in the wheel. You know what I'm saying? Because again, when you're used to having, as far as the classic and standard classes, as we know it through the ABKC, a 16 to 18-inch dog on average, and you pop up 20-inch and above for a male, 19 and a half inch for and above for a female, shit gets real sticky. So people don't know what they're buying. They're like, damn, I thought about this and I thought about that. But like, nah, there's this kind of dog and that kind of. When you go buy your goddamn poodle, I love using poodles as an example. You buy you a poodle, they got the mini poodle, they got the regular poodle, they got the toy poodle, they got the giant goddamn poodle. All them goddamn poodles look exactly the same. They all look exactly the same. The Doberman Pinscher, the mini Doberman Pinscher, they look the same. When it comes to the American Bully breed, we get to see we get to see overall that there's some there's some opposition on what a consistent look is in the dog. But again, that's what the confirmation shows are for. But again, therapy first. So I said all to say I got to know this breed in particular first as a pet situation. And then as I got introduced into some newer crowds, I went out and, decided to see what this breed was really about. Now, it would behoove you to do research. Again, I came in from a pet standpoint, but if you're trying to get into it from a professional standpoint, past a pet home, then you should do a little more research, be a little bit more in tune, because there's a lot of things that come along with having these breeds, bully breeds as a whole, joint problems, stomach, skin, things of that nature. So the girl got attacked, and the world is all over the place, and they're trying to associate what Ukraine has called the XL Bully with the American Bully breed as a whole. Again, we were kind of thrown off when Dave Wilson had said what he said in regard to what he said he was talking about what they were referring to as the XL Bully, which was a group of dogs, and he said that's not a reflection of our breed and our dogs, but we got kind of twisted over here because you're like, well, what the hell is in the XL dogs? Because we know we got some 155 pounds and, we got some Cali dogs, you know what I mean? We got some big dogs in Texas, and I fuck with XLs. We got a couple of dogs in Florida that, they 150, they registered, they get to, produce, breed, and everything else. So it's just like, I know from a political standpoint, you know what I mean, it was defending the breed over overall, but my point, once those things were said, like, everybody over here was like, well, wait a second, like, a dog got more drop in that come from goddamn massives and all that other shit. So again, it was definitely a lot of confusion. There was definitely a lot of anxiety when it came to, how do we position ourselves as far as, the XL American Bully class under the American Bully breed, given the tempo. But the breed has been under attack anyway because, it's also associated with, appreciate you guys tuning in. The breed has been associated basically close kissing because in the pit bulls. Most people most people initially they'll say even though the American Bully is the most number one search dog on the internet right now, most people will say, "Oh, that's a beautiful pit bull. That is a beautiful pit bull." And it is not a pit bull. I'm proud to say it's not a pit bull, and I can say that from the standpoint of I don't care what's in the dog. It's definitely not topside on as far as the bigger percentage pit bull running through it, because the pit bull itself has if you've ever owned a real pit bull, they have a total different drive. They have a very high drive. They're very athletic. They always need to be constantly stimulated. And they even as family dogs, you have to treat them accordingly as far as your house breaking, your crate training, all that, and just have them on a system, because they're always looking for something to do. If not to do, sooner or later they get to tearing up your shit. All dogs get to tear, but the dogs with the higher drive, especially in this case, American Pit Bull Terrier. So that is not what we have. But the yeah, most people will say once we bring the dog out, it's a nice pit bull, and we have to correct them. This is not a pit bull. So with the association of a pit bull and I can call a spade, the black and brown people. Now we got some Cajun brothers and sisters out there in the community. Yeah, but the rap of the American Pit Bull Terrier was put on the black and brown people for the most part. And then trying to create a more I can't speak for them, but I would assume at this point creating a similar style dog, but again, a little less drive, a little more physique on it. There came the race to the American Bully situation. So it's always that's it's not a pit bull, it's American Bully. But even with that being said, society, the system is always looking for a bad piece of news for the American Pit Bull Terrier and the American Bully. They're always looking for a bad piece of news to put out and say that this dog needs to be eradicated. This dog needs to be banned. This dog needs to be this. This dog needs to be that. When I know good and goddamn well some damn golden retrievers that got a thunderous bark. I know good and goddamn well, you know what I mean? Like what's them little Frenchies, and I know they big, and we're showing them them little firecrackers, them goddamn all them little dogs. They call them ankle biters and shit. They really are ankle biters and aggressive dogs, to a point. Dogs, just as people do once they get indoctrinated with their family, they become protective, which is fine. But there's other dogs that I feel that are way more aggressive than the dogs as far as which used as far as in lieu. I'll focus more so on American Bully. American Pit Bull's got a bad name, of course, because they were used to fight. And at a very high level. But if dogs are our therapy, like what do we do at this point to protect our therapy? There's a lot of people out there invested in a breed of the American Bully breed as a whole. There's a lot of people out there who've gotten to know some great people and have absorbed themselves into the dog community to get a sense of relief. There's a lot of stresses out there. Inflation's still going. The stock market's crazy. Elections are coming up again. The price of everything is going up. So we need our sense of relief, and our sense of a therapy. And a lot of us choose the American Bully breed. We choose the American Bully breed, and we stand behind that breed. But constantly in the news, over and over and over again, it's always something. It's always something. This dog attacked a girl, and they couldn't get the dog off the girl, and they attacked the other two people. And now we need to banish this whole group of dogs because of this one dog. Like, that's insane. You know what I mean? That's totally insane. I don't know about you, but I think that's probably one of the most insane things I've ever heard in my life. You know what I mean? They're quick to to ban. The powers that be are quick to ban some shit a dog and a type of car, and we got all this funny dirty shit. People hanging flags and crazy stuff over maps in school, and teaching our kids whatever they feel is right as far as sexuality and different levels of promiscuity that they got interweaved into their lessons and stuff, and how to be open. But you talk about a dog and a certain type of car, and diet with all the dyes is different stuff that we're allowed to consume as a people here. As far as the same companies like craft the kind of cheese and that powdered cheese, artificial stuff, and Skittles or all the other brands, the certain dyes that it's banned in other countries, and that they won't allow those people to take, but it's allowed here. But they ban certain stuff like a certain kind of dogs and shit, but allow this crazy world to just go ahead and have I want to say our kids, because adults, once they're adults, they can do what they want to do. But at the same time, while they're kids, we want to protect our kids as much as possible. Just like we want to protect our kids from bad dogs, want to protect our kids from people trying to go ahead and shove different type of sexualities and tell us that that we have some kind of phobia if we're not normalizing this type of conversation in our house. I'm keeping it all the way messy, but I'm just being honest that we should normalize this type of conversation in our house, or use some kind of a phobic and phobia, this, that, and the third. I don't have to normalize anything in my house. You know what I mean? Other than what me and my wife want to. That's our God-given right, and we're losing our rights as far as the things that our liberties and our dogs. We're losing our rights and our liberties. Hell, and politics, basically, man. More money, more problems, man. So they're taking more money away from the people with inflation and taxes and things like that. And your dollar is your voice. That's what I say. At the end of the day, if you're not positioned with people that have power, which means they're in organizations and groups that are vested some kind of way, strategically, financially, through business, through business corridors. That's where your voice is, and you end up, that's playing the game of politics. So other than that, but most of them people, they get so money hungry that they forget what they're there for anyway. You know what I'm saying? They forget what they're there for, and they start getting incentives and bonuses and shit. Nobody want to talk about no, no phobias, no dogs, no nothing. They just gonna say whatever is good and popular and push the agenda so they can keep getting paid. I mean, that's the truth of the whole situation, man. So yeah, I think it's a horrible situation what happened to that young lady. I think it's even more despicable that people want to go and try to ruin the breed experience for us, as a whole, for the American bully breed. And even in that same space, I think it's a tragedy that the XL American bully class has been so fucked up and disrespected that there had to be a whole nother registry made to be able to cater to the XL American bully. You know what I mean? They got shows coming up. They've definitely blossomed. It's been their first year. It's been 14 months now that the XLBC registry's been around. They've had successful shows, some smaller, some bigger. But it's definitely, I can testify, it's definitely a growing registry, supporting and full support of the XL American bully breed. They just came back from California. They were in Texas. God bless Greg and Shirley for all that goddamn traveling. God bless their children and everybody who watching their dogs while they run around trying to build a platform and give support for the XL American bully. Treat your programs accordingly. Treat your dogs accordingly. Educate yourselves, man. We don't know how long the breed is going to be around, if these people have anything to do with it. But the XL American bully is here to stay. Whether you want to call it XL American bully breed or the XL American bully class, depending on which registry we're talking about. I say, you go where you're supported. If you're paying into programs and you're paying into a lifestyle, and it's not giving you what you expected or wanted from that lifestyle, then you have that right to go ahead and seek solace elsewhere. I definitely support all registries in the fact that it brings people together. It's a messy world out here, so we need places where we can get some kind of relief, lessen the stress in our day. You know what I mean? So as far as the registries as a whole, shout out to everybody. It's not an easy task. Unfortunately, some people just do it for money. The ones that have burnt out fast, just to go ahead and get people's money, because there could be a lot of money in having your own dog registry. I mean, it's pretty simple math. You get a couple people with a couple dogs, and they breed a couple dogs, and they have, they need litter paperwork, and then once if they keep or sell or rehome the dogs, each individual dog out the litter, if they may potentially get registered, that's another 25. Hell, off of 2 dogs and 1 litter, you probably made goddamn $1,000 or so. You know what I mean, give or take. But I'll just say I know at least about $1,000. Close to it, somewhere in that, you know what I mean? 2 dogs, 50, 75, and say you have about 8 dogs. So you'll make at least a couple $100. I'll say $500 to $600 a dog. So you get multiple people doing this thing, and you're up to at least 6 figures, pretty fast. So it's a lot of incentive to go ahead and try to ruffle feathers and get people to join your registry and try to get some money. But it's different when you go ahead and take it seriously. You build a full structured platform, and you go out there and you bring people who feel like, at the end of the day, that's why there's different kind of churches. Some people feel like they ain't getting like what they need from the other church. So you join another church, or you feel is more home for your particular situation. It speaks to your soul and resonates with you a certain way, and you rock with it. You know what I'm saying? So XLBC is resonating in my soul, is resonating in my community. So those who got the big dogs, if you know, and it's a great situation for the XLs. I know there's always going to be some type of outside hating conversation, but if they're not hating, then you're not doing your job. And fuck anybody for whoever's doing great things, and there's somebody who doesn't want to see you be successful. If they just say you're fucking up something and you don't need to be doing XYZ, I can simply say, who the hell are you? And I'm sure 1,000 people, a million people had the same opinion when you started your particular situation. You know what I mean? That's always going to be the case. That's how things work. You get pissed off, somebody pisses you off. You don't like the food you're eating. You don't like the way they're playing, coaching these basketball games. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like the food, damn, I'm going to go start my own restaurant, cook my own goddamn food. I'm sure these people what cooking is. If you don't like a basketball league, damn, I'm going to start my own league. Damn, I'm going to start my own gym. You understand what I'm saying? Innovation comes from situations like that. I don't like this. I feel like I can improve on it. You know what I mean? And you do that. So again, shout out to XLBC for goddamn doing their thing and putting their best foot forward to cater to the XL class, the XL breed, American bully. I just think there's room for growth in each registry. But overall, there's plenty of opportunity for people to be able to participate. And, because we've been to many, and yes, it's based off demographic for the most part, because West Coast definitely get a lot of XL love. I haven't personally been out there, but as far as me seeing consistent footages over the years, XLs are real heavy on the West Coast. But I know I've done, the East Coast when I started showing and did my beginning tenure for the first 3-4 years. And it was the same group of people over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? And it got to a point that we got to see that, hey, goddamn, we ain't got too many people out here that support the XLs. And then we found out there was a shitload of people out there. They were just so discouraged to come on out because they were bashed so much by certain registries to where they were discouraged. They didn't want to bring their dogs out anymore, and they couldn't really find a place. a comfortable place. The information, the consistency of information wasn't there about the history of the dog. The consistency of the information wasn't there on how do we get together and move forward with the XL American Bullies. You know what I'm saying? Um, Still to this day, right now, off the top of my head, shout out to Blueprint Bullies up in Jersey, man. Shout out to Fear Kennels. Shout out to Second to None. Shout out to Filthy Rich Bullies. Shout out to Brotherhood Kennel. Shout out to Wi-Fi Kennel. Shout out to Woodside Kennel. Shout out to Cali Bullies. Um, Shout out to and this is the XLs dealing with XLs. Shout out to On Deck Kennels. Shout out to Big Vision. Every now and then they sneak out them big dogs. Yeah, Big Vision gave me and Filthy Rich gave me my foundation dog Jezebel, which I love her to death. Um, that's my boo. Who else? Um, Y'all forgive me if it ain't coming to the top of my head, man. Um, what's my man? Hard Body. Yeah, Hard Body. Shout out to Hard Body Bullies, man. Um, so many more, man. So many more out there, man. But we started seeing at that particular time, we started seeing a certain group, on a limited small group of XLs out here showing their dogs because they were getting bashed so bad in the ring and no one knew where to go. But as everything else with time comes progression, and if you're consistent in your situation, eventually those certain milestones will be passed over, whether they be overlooked or you kicked down the wall and didn't realize you kicked it down. But with that being said, XLBC, Shirley, she showed she a champion. Rest in peace. Forgive me, Shirley, man. I'm thinking about the dog in a second, man. Man, I can't think of your dog name. But I know Champion Godiva, and he was your foundation dog, put you on the map. God forgive me, but she has experience in the show ring, and felt a burden, you know what I'm saying, as far as the overall look and love for the XL American Bully class as it stands in the other registry, but it's the XL American Bully breed within the XLBC registry. Broken down into four categories, varieties, if you will: the standard XL, classic XL, extreme XL, and double XL. We're on the campaign as a whole right now to go ahead and get the XLBC jump started, man. It's a new wave. It's exciting. There's a lot of work to be done, but at the same time, it's a platform for the true XL people to be able to lay their hair down and have fun. A lot of fun getting therapy first. A lot of fun has been taken out of gathering together and showing in an official sanctioned show. That's why a lot of the meet and greets, if you will, they're kind of the do thing now. A meet and greet is a more relaxed environment. Excuse me, a relaxed environment, of course, but it is also a place for people to learn, to practice, learn, and to grow. And we're finding out that people don't even want to go to a sanctioned show to that degree because win, lose, or draw, they feel like they can get information on their program and not have to deal with the judges and the politics and the rhetoric and the sanctioned platform that they can get, because they just want to know how to get how to get ahead. How do they move forward in their program? And if they feel like I don't need to have a champ or a grand champ, you know what I mean, to sell my beautiful pets, then they feel like they don't need to go to a sanctioned show, but they still want to be able to be in a space where they can come and bring their family and share their passions. And that's what we do. We bring our families out, we gather up, and we have fun. Therapy first. A lot of people take this thing past just breeding and getting trophies. This is, for me, it helped me, work through things in my head. It helped me communicate more with my family. It helped me get to different locations and stuff I wouldn't normally go to. Doing having PTSD as a combat military veteran. So again, this particular breed is special to me for those reasons alone. They touch me in a certain way. They allowed me to walk and talk a little bit better, and reemerge myself in society to a certain degree. So when we hear the breed as a whole getting bashed in association with a horrible situation where the little girl got bitten and mauled by the dog, we gotta draw a line in the sand and stand up and support. But again, the origins of this conversation started off. We were very confused when we saw Dave Wilson's clip, when he gave the interview, and defending what slash it sounded like discrediting to a point, the XL American Bully. So no harm, no foul. We're all human. Like I said, it just sounded really weird. It sounded really wild to hear, the way, the creator, organizer of the co-founder of the American Bully breed in this organized form, co-founder, owner of ABKC, one of the biggest American Bully now all breed registries in the world. Yeah, it was crazy. Everybody was on the net, man. What are we doing? What are they taking out the XLs? I said, I don't know what's going on. What I do know is I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Whether it's with another registry or whether it's just independently, just producing dope dogs. At this point, I've been doing it so long, I know people, there's a base of people who just want dope, big dogs. You know what I mean? And as far as the currency is concerned, I started off, which was my trigger word when I heard about the word band dog, and I started off with band dogs. Only in the space because I was trying to create my own bloodline within the American Bully breed, but then discovered the way I was doing it technically, they said, was taboo, and I was creating band dogs. When I came to a simple deduction, well, of, as far as I'll go to UKC standard, but same difference. If whatever registry this particular breed is compiled with a foundation of these particular dogs, I decided to get each individual dog to this standard, saying this is in the dog, and I was going to breed them one by one, mix them until I got them all into this one dog. And that would be my particular line, my bloodline, my namesake, my stamp, my brand on this bloodline for that dog. Now, I originally went about it the wrong way, which created band dogs, but to date, I have some good colleagues that'll, stand and say they've seen some of those dogs. Some of my people have owned some of those dogs, and they were some of the biggest dogs I ever produced to date. And that was my first 1-2 breed foundation, my F1 and F2 to date, creating some huge dogs. But they said, no, those are band dogs. So, again, there is a market for band dogs, mixed dogs, mutts, whatever you like to call them. So you don't necessarily, as far as the monetary situation, have to hang your hat on on any particular registry. When you want to get into the sport of showing conformation shows, there's different sports. There's a weight pulling sport, agility sports. You know what I mean? Conformation just shows off the physique, the look, and the temperament of the dog. And you, as the handler, if you pay for a handler, you guys coincide when you go in the ring and exhibit, discipline and control within the standard of that registry, and display yourself. You display the dog, and the dog displays you as the handler. So this is what the game has to offer as far as producing the dogs and showing the dogs. Again, you don't have to be at any particular registry to produce and solicit and place out, canine animals. You don't have to be. If you produce, that's why they got the exotic with Yorkie poos and snickerdoodles and Rodinchies, and you know what I'm saying, like whatever they got out there. Those dogs have no paperwork behind them. They're flat out mutts. They're whatever, but people like those type of looking dogs. They became popular, and people have, recurated them. So, like I said, you don't necessarily need to be with any registry, but again, it was confusing as hell to hear that, oh, that's a band dog. That has nothing to do with our breed, and those got massive in it, and those got pit bull terrier. I'm like, well, shit. I mean, we know that the breed has pit bulls and terriers and mastiffs in the breed. So it's like, what the fuck does it matter? I mean, he had to say something anyway. Like I said, at this point, it's a company and a brand for his family's sake. That there's a lot of people. I mean, politics 101 is a lot of, they got staff and people they feed, so you got to say something. But as far as the truth of it is, I don't give a damn. Like, everybody knows at this point, understand there's different shit in these dogs. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. Gumbo, you say gumbo's gumbo, but everybody got different seasons in their gumbo. Everybody cook their gumbo different. There's a standard of the presentation of the gumbo. Once you get to it, a certain thickness, uh, um, it has to be a certain level of spiciness, or it have to have a base of certain ingredients in it. But at the end of the day, everybody has their different rendition of gumbo. Everybody has their different rendition of the American Bully breed. And the only rendition I've ever seen of a poodle or anything else is when they started mixing it with other shit. It just is what it is. That's why there's the Yorkie poo, the poo hound. Everybody need a little poo. They want a little poo in it. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. I'm just thankful again to have met some of the great people I've met over the years. And I've learned so much about the American Bully breed as a whole. I'm proud to have, produced. I'm on my fourth generation. On a couple different situations. So I have to get to my fifth or sixth generation for I have to say that's my complete line. With my name top and bottom, down the line. So I'm thankful for the journey. I'm thankful for the people. I'm saddened that every time there's an attack, they want to go ahead and blame it. If they can't blame it on American Pit Bull Terrier no more, they're gonna blame it on the American Bully. If they can't blame it on American Bully by name, they're gonna try to slide it in under, the XL Bully. It's always gonna be something, man. You guys stand up and you fight for your rights. And I can't say what rights you should or shouldn't fight for, respectfully so, because some of these fucking rights that people are fighting for out here right now, I feel like are so irrelevant right now. You know what I mean? It's like it's sports shit. If the people XX chromosomes and XY chromosomes, you got a huge man with a wig on competing against girls, and like this shit is just crazy out here, man. It's a messy world, but at the same time, it's definitely a real world, man. So stay prayed up, man. Stay positive. Surround yourself by positive people, and find some positive things to go ahead and just give your brain a little dump and just what they call it, de-escalate yourselves, man. Again, dogs did it for me. Y'all know my hashtag is messy, which developed into if it ain't messy, it ain't me. My life is messy. Unfortunately, I think most of ours it is, but I just call it what it is. Nothing came easy, nothing came quick. It's been a messy journey, and I've definitely learned to live, laugh, and love a little bit more through the messiness. But it is what it is. So I'm thankful for this platform. I'm able to talk, to encourage, and reach people that I normally wouldn't reach on a normal basis because how I move in life. Be positive. Again, stay prayed up. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Y'all see on my left and my right, I got this messy, if it ain't messy, it ain't me t-shirts, man. I'll send y'all the link shortly. I appreciate y'all checking me out on YouTube. Catch me on Facebook, on Instagram, and other media platforms as we keep it funky and keep it messy. I know it's been a while, but I enjoy being back and wrapping it up with y'all, man. At the end of the day, remember one thing first and foremost, man. If it ain't messy, it ain't me.